told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly, we get it bouncing like Betty's, I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli, it's leave on that levy, no sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do, hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit up my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboy Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. It is a special stream, and it's the first college basketball stream of the season. It's been a long time coming. We've been planning this pretty much since the start of the season, but it's taken a little while for it to come together. But how are you guys? How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I'm doing really good. Good college basketball slate to bet on.
Yeah, I'm excited. So for everybody who's here, let us know in the chat. First off, just say hello. The idea of the college basketball streams is that they're going to be very interactive. So all of you guys in the chat talking about your picks today is actually going to play a somewhat integral part of the stream. So here is the general format, the layout that we have for the streams. So we have 5 categories. As you can see, we're going to reveal what the categories are in a second. The categories are going to change on a day-to-day basis. And if you guys have any category ideas that you like, please let us know in the chat. We're always searching for more ideas, and we'd like to have some extra variety. So each of the categories, we're going to find a game that fits in with that category. It's a game that's going to be interesting for a certain reason, and we're going to talk about those games. Additionally, we are going to be throwing up polls for each of the games to figure out what the audience is on with these games. So be sure to vote on those. So Ben, Chase, anything you want to say, or you want to just hop right into it?
I want to say one thing. I would say, chat, be active. Let us know if you like the picks, don't like the picks, your opinion, because I think at the end of the day, we're all here to arrive at a truth, and if we can get some information, especially today with COVID and all the crazy stuff going on, information is vital more than ever. So if there's players sitting out, I got screwed yesterday with a guy with a late scratch from Providence. I don't know if they would have won anyway, but, just little things like that. Let us know. Keep it active and engage, and I think it's going to make the streams even more fun.
Yeah, Chase, anything you want to say?
No, I just second Ben, and I want to thank you guys for letting me join you. I watch your NFL streams every week, so it's cool to be the third for this one.
No, it's good to have another guy who's really, really good at college basketball on the crew. There's so many teams, it's impossible to keep up with everything. That's what it feels like, at least.
My favorite sport to bet on. I love college basketball.
Oh, I agree. College basketball is my absolute favorite. So just going to run through the chat real quick. I see we got Jay Ballin. What a way to spend the lunch hour. I know. I get to have lunch right after this. B. Hauser, first time chat. What's up? Pick 6, lunch and hoops. Oh, yeah. T. Cherry, I see you got your Twitch back. What's up, ASIM? Degenerate says, don't know if it's your internet, but the stream is super jumpy today. If anybody else is having that issue, let us know. So real quick, last thing. Again, this is the first time we're doing this. There's a lot of production stuff going on. So if there's any errors, any little mishaps, I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and get started. And Tommy, thank you for the follow. So again, we have 5 categories. What are the categories for today? Here we go. Category number 1 is
Degenerates only.
I was looking at Ball Sack State -4 against Dickhead State. Ball Sacks covered their last 10 straight games, and my boy says they're a wagon.
Category number 2.
Public intoxication.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Category number 3.
Court streakers.
We're going streaky! Yes!
Category number 4.
Game of the day.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.
And category number 5.
Big brain plays.
Come on. Think. Brain blast!
All right, so hopefully all of the audio for that worked. Let me know if it didn't. We can't actually hear it. I can see it on my screen. Ben and Chase are sitting there completely blind and deaf to what's going on.
No, I listened. It's
you listened? It's there?
I don't, yeah, it's good.
All right. So, without further ado, Degenerates only as our first category for today. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't get any more degenerate than this Alabama A&M Mississippi State game today. Mississippi State is terrible. They are 0-11 overall. Average margin of defeat, more than 27 points. Alabama A&M is not much better. They are 2-9. They won their opening SWAT game, and they beat like another terrible Tennessee State game, but they haven't won a game either. Can Mississippi State pull it off? Anybody have any thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I think if you're Mississippi Valley, you come into this game and you're like, man, this is one we can get. But that only goes so far because they suck. I've unfortunately watched them, I think, once or twice this year.
Oh, Ben.
I had bets in them, but yeah, they're not good. I kind of lean with an over, if anything, in this one. But as far as the spread goes, you know what? I'll go with Mississippi Valley State at home, getting
there it is.
Really?
Yeah.
So Mississippi Valley State is actually 5-6 against the spread this year. I mean, mostly it's because they've been getting spreads of 30 points, 40 points, and only losing by 25 sometimes. They opened up their SWAC slate a couple days ago on Monday against another Alabama team, against Alabama State. Mississippi Valley State was an 8-point underdog in that game, and ended up losing it by 9. So they did keep it kind of close. I think it was a pretty tight game, pretty much all the way through, but they were not able to secure the cover. So this could be the day. It feels really coin flippy, but again, I mean, we're not in like the sharp bet of the day category, right? We're in the degenerates only category.
Yes, that's always important to note. And if we are confident, I think you'll be able to tell with our analysis and voice. And I will let you know, I am not betting this game, so do not clip this, doctor this, and be like, oh, Ben said Mississippi Valley was his best play of the day. I'm just gonna clip that and doctor it. You just said all the words I need. Yep. Money line. Oh, see? Cost myself there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the money line is the play.
Chase, what about you?
I think if you are betting this game, if you are a true degenerate, I think you got to take Mississippi Valley State. You got to take the home dog here. Alabama, A&M, Nick kind of mentioned it there for a second. The only two teams they've beaten are outside the top 300 in KenPom. They haven't beaten a good team. They're at a very similar level of Mississippi Valley State, and I think if there's a day where they can get a W, I think it's today.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's going to be a relatively close game. That being said, I'm actually going to take Alabama A&M here. I'm with Tom. You kind of got to fade Mississippi Valley State. They're like the Chicago State of last year. I don't think that they're going to completely shut down their basketball program, but you never know.
It's been pretty bad for a few years. They've been bottom, at least on KenPom, for 3 years, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah, they've been right there.
And it's rare to like be almost dead last in both offense and defense, right? Like you think at least one side of the ball, you're like, you know what, we're just gonna like try to get a little better and maybe rank like 300th. But I mean, they're like almost dead last in both, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's impressive to be that bad. So just checking in on the poll to see what the audience thinks. We have 5 votes on Mississippi Valley State plus the 7.5 points. And we have 3 votes on Alabama A&M minus 7.5. So I guess Mississippi Valley State is going to be the audience lean here. The first ever audience poll result.
Love it for a
The first ever
nasty game, nasty category.
Also, I switched up all this stuff, so let me fix that real quick.
Interesting total, though. You know.
Yeah. So
I kind of like that over.
Yeah. So it's worth noting. So they played Alabama State last time out. The total was much higher. It was like 146. I think that Alabama A&M plays a quite slow tempo.
Yeah.
Which is why this total is where it's at.
Both teams foul a lot, but I think that's always a characteristic of a bad team. I've picked up on pretty quickly over the years. Is like there's a correlation between teams fouling a lot and where they rank as a team as a whole, and it makes sense, right? You're sending a team to the foul line often, so. Or also maybe you're always losing, so you have to foul. Maybe it's kind of which came first, right, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, and with a team like Mississippi Valley State, maybe they both came at the same time.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M's 283rd in tempo.
Yeah, it's pretty slow.
Yeah. But Mississippi Valley State gives up a lot of quick shots.
Yeah, they're like last year and then this year too as well. They just run down the court, jack up a three.
Sounds
against
about right.
Really good, against really good teams. That's where you see those ridiculous spreads, and they're warranted because they're just possessing the ball only for like 10 seconds every possession. So,
yeah. All right. Are you guys ready to move on to category number 2, public intoxication, a big public bet of the day? And
Yes.
Chase, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce this one. So for anybody who doesn't know, Chase works for Action Network, has all of the inside info on on everything that Action Network tracks. So what is our game, and why is it the public intoxication play of the day?
So we got a Big East matchup, Creighton-Villanova. I was just looking at the updated ticket counts. Creighton-Villanova is now over 5,000 on the updated ticket counts. Next closest isn't even at 4,000 yet. So it's definitely the most heavily bet game of the night. And the public loves Creighton in this game. Especially, I think the line opened at 11.5. It's now down to 10.5. So I'm sure a lot of the bets came in at 11.5 as well.
Yeah, so anybody have any opinions on this game? Ben, I guess we'll start with you. Are you tailing the public here? Are you going to back Creighton, or are you going to fade the public and take Villanova?
I'm going to fade the public and go with Villanova here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I look at this and Creighton's an interesting team. I'm still trying to figure out like how good they actually are, but I like Villanova. I just think Villanova is a team that can get the job done today, but I don't really have a strong opinion on this one. I'm not going to be betting this one, but I think Villanova, for me, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go against the public on that one.
What about you, Chase?
I am also not betting this game, but I'm going to go on the other side of Ben as a lean. I just think that's too many points in a Big East matchup. I think Creighton, I'm with Ben that I'm not sure what to think of Creighton yet. They're kind of just okay. They're probably a middle-of-the-pack Big East team, but I think 10.5 is just too many points. I think Creighton can keep it close.
Yeah, so I'm with Chase here, actually. I'm taking Creighton, and not only am I leaning Creighton, but I am actually betting on this game. I like Creighton a lot here. So we actually gave this one out. Ben, I don't know if you saw this or not, but we gave Creighton out as an official play at 11 last night.
Yeah,
but that's okay. Ben doesn't have to agree with every play that I gave it.
Yeah, and it's moving a little bit too, right? So good CLV there. I mean, it makes sense why this. Well, first of all, why the public's on it, because these two teams faced off in December on the 17th, and Creighton won by 20. I believe that was that game that I remember that a lot of people are on the wrong side of. So, I mean, that's partly probably why the public is so heavy on this, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So Creighton, yeah, they're a really interesting team. There's a lot of freshmen who get significant run on this Creighton team, but it's a good freshman class. I've watched this Creighton team play 3 or 4 games this year just to try and get a feel of who these players are, and I'm actually a big fan of this Creighton team. Of course, with a lot of freshmen getting a lot of run, they're going to be inconsistent. I mean, we definitely saw that last time out against Marquette, where they went up huge and then they blew the lead and then they hit a buzzer beater to go to double overtime and then won it in double OT. I mean, that was a massive roller coaster of a game last time out for Creighton. But I think just as they play more, they're going to gain experience, they're going to gain consistency, and there's a lot of legitimately really talented players on this team. They've got size, they've got shooting, they've got skill. And I think in what should be a fairly low-tempo game, getting this on the other side of 10, I like Creighton here. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Ben, you're right. They lost by 20 in Omaha.
Yeah, I remember that game because I think it was in the Discord. People were talking about taking Villanova live because they were the favorite, and then it got to the point where it was like, oh, now it's a pick 'em. Oh wow, now it's +5. You know.
And that blows up right in their faces.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do that 4 or 5 times on that, then you're on the wrong side. So yeah, we'll see if they can come back and have a better performance. But you know, Creighton as a young team, they probably have confidence from that matchup. So
yeah, I mean they're playing well in clutch moments.
Yeah.
So last thing to do is to take a look at the poll. We've got not a whole lot of time left. 6 votes on Creighton to cover, 4 votes on Villanova to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Creighton up as the audience lean on our public intoxication play today. So moving on to Court Streakers, where we talk about a game that has a team that is on a pretty significant either winning or losing streak, either against the spread or on over-unders. If anybody who tunes into Trent's stream, you might hear these referred to as wagons. If they are winning, if they're losing, there's not like an equivalent term, right? I want to come up with a term that is the opposite of a wagon.
Yeah, if you have one, guys.
It's like a wagon with square wheels.
I always call them frauds, especially when we're talking about against the spread, because if they keep on getting good numbers that are easy to bet against, they're frauds. Michigan is a fraud. I love betting against Michigan.
Yeah,
I'm down with the word fraud. Today's team though that we're talking about is not a fraud. They've been a little bit of a wagon. So poll is up, and we're talking about the Davidson and St. Joseph's game today. So the proverbial wagon in this game right now is Davidson. Davidson on the year is 10-1 against the spread, including 8 straight covers. Last time out, Davidson, they've had a little bit of a COVID pause for the last couple weeks, but they actually knocked off Alabama straight up. Not just covered, but they beat Alabama 79-78 in their last game. Again, though, that was a little while ago. That game was back on the 21st of December. I guess they had like a tune-up game against a non-D1 team. But that doesn't count. That was
Nick,
on the 22nd.
It's always fun seeing those teams. Like, I'm always curious, and I go look them up.
Johnson and Wales University.
Yeah, like remember last year we found that school in Idaho that had like 67 members of the school.
Yeah, they've played like 10 D1 games this year. It's Carver College.
Yeah, man, Carver College. Shout out Carver.
I don't understand. But
There
anyways,
used to be a Johnson
yeah.
and Wales in Denver. They got rid of it last year, I think.
Oh yeah,
All those guys
Johnson and Wales, the Culinary Institute.
What if they actually played a culinary institute? Their uniform is like chef outfits. We need to make that a thing. That has to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, Davidson, man, they're a fun team. They're
Davidson
rolling.
is good.
Yeah, they are good.
They even as a wagon, they are not a fraudulent wagon. This is a
Could David-
really good team.
Could Davidson get in as an at-large if they don't win?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to say that, but
Oh, no, absolutely.
I'm always skeptical. I'm always skeptical of
It's,
saying that.
They're an A10 team. It's not like they're in some bumfuck conference, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's true.
A10 they put in multiple teams every year as is. They have they have that marquee win against Alabama. They've knocked off, I mean, some other okay teams.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
the
they'll-
Alabama win. I think they're in a good spot as long as they don't destruct and become the opposite of a wagon in the next 2 months. But Nick, I have to go with Davidson here. I'm not going to overthink it. They're playing well. You know, the hawk will never die. I think it dies tonight. And I'm going to have to go with Davidson. Not going to overthink it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And also worth pointing out. Oh, let me pull it up actually on the screen. So St. Joe's is at home, and they are a 4.5 point favorite at the moment. Chase, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm kind of torn on this game, honestly. St. Joe's is actually a pretty good team, especially in the A10. I think they're probably going to finish towards the top half of the A10.
Are they?
They just had a really good win over Richmond. I think they beat them by like 30.
Yeah, they demolished
yeah.
Richmond last time out.
So I like St. Joe's, but I'm kind of with Ben. I think Davidson's just way too good. I think they're a much better team than St. Joe's. I was trying to see if St. Joe's good against the 3-point shot, because obviously Davidson's the number one 3-point shooting team in the country, and St. Joe's is 218 in 3-point defense on Ken Palm. So I just like Davidson. I think they'll be able to shoot the lights out.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I like Davidson too, and I think St. Joe's is fraudulent. The win against Richmond was good, but this is not a fundamentally different team than last year's team. That was terrible. I mean, they were one of the worst. I mean, definitely the worst A10 team.
They went on a run in the tournament last year.
Yeah, I mean, so they went on a run because at the top they have a couple really good 3-point shooters, and they caught fire in the tournament. So just in any given game, they jack up a ton of threes, and they have a couple guys who can legitimately shoot the three well. So I mean, they are liable to just get hot in any game. I mean, Taylor Funk, for example, this year shooting 44% from three on almost 100 attempts. Really, really good sharpshooter.
But Chase, I could see where you're coming from because, you know, they played USC back in November, lost by 15, lost to Villanova by 29. So against like superior teams, not great. But at the same time, you know, those are two decent, or not decent, great teams. So for me, I think that I'm kind of in between you and Nick as far as how good St. Joseph's actually is, but I'm sold on Davidson. So
yeah,
I think we agree on Davidson.
Yeah, my long story short with Davidson, I think they just do everything a little bit better than St. Joe's does. St. Joe's needs to shoot threes to win, but Davidson shoots threes better. There's not really a significant size advantage. St. Joe's doesn't force any turnovers. Davidson forces more turnovers. I think Davidson's just going to have more shots, and they're going to shoot them better. And I don't know what more you could ask for than that. The chat, however, disagrees. We had 7 votes on the poll, 4 of them for St. Joe's, and 3 of them for Davidson. So the audience is on St. Joe's.
Little audience versus host battle here.
Yeah, it's like the pros versus Joes, but the host versus the chat. There's not really like a nice word that rhymes, but yeah.
Someone said a reverse wagon is a wet blanket.
I like that.
Oh yeah. I've heard people use that. Yeah.
Sounds terrible.
At Cole, did we already cover St. John's versus DePaul? No, but I can say that we are going to talk about that game. It's on the schedule. I'm not going to say when. I'm not going to say anything else, but it is on the agenda. What does the model say for that game? That's an excellent question. The model has Davidson winning 75.9 to 62.5. So model likes Davidson a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so game number 4, the game of the day. We are going to the only game today between two top 25 teams. I don't know how we could have really chosen anything else. We have Texas Tech going on the road to Iowa State. Iowa State is a 4-point favorite at home. Over-under in the game is set at 126.5. So the poll for this not only has the spread, but it also has the total. So Ben, Chase, thoughts on this game?
Two really good defensive teams. I'll say that much. This is going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to this game. Man, but this is a tough one. Okay, I've went back and forth a few times on this one. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech as my lean pick for this.
And why is that?
I just think that their defense at times can make those stops, and I also really like their rebounding, solid rebounding team. So again, it's a toss-up for me. I am not going to be betting on this one, but I think the Red Raiders pull it out and get the cover.
Is TJ Otzelberger the favorite to win Coach of the Year? I don't think there's odds for NCAA Coach of the Year, but I think Otzelberger's probably going to be the favorite.
Yeah, and I will say it is interesting because before last game, on a 12-0 win streak, right? 12 game win streak, and then that loss to Baylor last game. So yeah, they're doing good things.
Yeah, they played Baylor pretty well. It's really impressive, and I do agree. I mean, just taking in a ton of transfers and turning them pretty instantly into an extremely competitive team. The impressiveness of that just cannot be overstated.
So they went one. Oh, I was just gonna say they went 114 from 3 in that Baylor game.
Yeah, I mean, so who's the
and
leading
we're in
scorer?
the game for pretty much the whole game.
Yeah. So who's the leading scorer on Iowa State that played for them last year? Is there one? Yeah. Okay. So George Condit at 6 points per game is the leading scorer on Iowa State, who actually played for Iowa State last year. Isaiah Brockington, their leading scorer, came in from Penn State. Gabe Kalisher came in from Minnesota. Tyrese Hunter came in. He's a freshman. Aliaz Kunk in from Washington State. Caleb Gill in from UNLV. It just cannot be overstated how impressive this Iowa State team is. All of that said, I'm actually with Ben. I'm going to take Texas Tech here. I think that running into tougher competition, I think that I guess just give me a team with a little bit more continuity. Not that Texas Tech is really the epitome of continuity either, but that's just kind of where I'm at. Oh, also, yeah, I forgot to scroll this. Sorry, again, this is the first time we're doing this. There's so many things I'm doing behind the scenes. So if I forget to do anything like this, let me know. Chase, what are your thoughts on this one?
I want to pick Texas Tech, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take the under, and I actually might bet the under in this game. It's at 126.5. I think it could easily be a game that gets played in the 50s just because of how good these defenses are. Ben mentioned it right off the top, but they're both top 10 in KenPom in defense, and they both heavily rely on their defense. So I think this game could easily be played in the 50s, if not really low 60s. So I kind of like the under. I know that's a low number. I'm a guy that loves to take unders that are in the 120s, especially between two really good defensive teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. If there's good defensive teams that kind of play at a not so fast tempo, and don't really rely on free throws. I mean, free throws is the thing that kills those unders. I completely agree that those are really excellent spots that people don't like. I mean, nobody really likes betting under 120.
Yeah,
I'm really.
I
I was just saying, I'm really close to betting Texas Tech. I might have to do it at +4. I just like the value there. I mean, like you said, it's going to be a low-scoring game. That's what I expect, and I think they could pull off the win. I really do. What does the model say, Nick?
What does the model say? The model has Texas Tech winning 62.1 to 61.8.
Model also likes the under then. 123.
Yeah, model has Texas Tech actually winning outright, by 0.3 of a point, and the under by a couple points. And the poll result is in. We got Texas Tech +4 seems to be the pick here. So we're gonna go ahead and throw that in.
And
you seem pretty split on the total. I guess it's 5 for the over, 3 for the under.
yeah,
But Texas Tech over Iowa State is a 6-3 call on the poll. And Hijacker says Raider. It's gonna be a Raider kind of day. And yeah, Cole, model likes Texas Tech +4. It's not something that's a big enough margin for us to call it an official play of any sort, but it is definitely the lean that the model has.
Also, Ken Palm likes Texas Tech too. 63-62 is their predictive score.
Yeah, I mean that's basically exactly what we have. And I don't touch any Ken Palm data, so everything that they're doing is generated independently of our model. I infer all the tempo stuff from raw statistics. Cole earlier said, I don't know how Book It stream gets 1,000 plus viewers compared to this. This is a lot better. Plus y'all got the goated model. I mean, it's just different styles. I mean, we'd love to be pulling in tons and tons and tons of viewers. But we're doing our thing. Model's good. I mean, I think people love Trent's stream because of the controversy and people being over the top with their opinions and their personalities and stuff. I mean, we're here for the production value. We're here for the good takes as opposed to the hot takes, shall we say?
Yeah, and plus there's probably a larger audience for the recreational parlay bettors than there is the straight bettors. I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
As unfortunate as that is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think
they all
another
come
thing
around,
is,
you know? You come around and you learn the hard way after a few years, and you're like, man, I lost like thousands of dollars the last few years betting parlays, and then you're like, maybe I should straight bet. But hey, it's your bread. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, all right.
I might parlay all of our best bets.
Yeah.
So real quick, chat, I want you to take the next 30 seconds or so and type out what your favorite bet today is. I need some options to throw in the poll to see what chat's favorite bet of the day is. If we don't have that, I'm just going to throw your leans up, but I know nobody's going to vote for Mississippi Valley State as your favorite bet of the day. So let me know what you guys are on. I can take up to 5 options to put in the poll. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Oh, Yubby has to shave today? Was that like a bet that he made?
Yeah, it was. He thought the Pacers were gonna win. Like,
I'm gonna assume that didn't happen.
No, they didn't win. Doing any sort of bold bets right now in the NBA is kind of silly, but I mean, it's not like he has to shave his eyebrows off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, didn't you once say that you were gonna do something with your eyebrows if a bet lost?
Yeah, and it didn't lose.
No, you can't put your eyebrows on the line for something that's.
I think it was like a run team total in baseball, and it barely hit too, which is funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was like the White Sox or something. They scored like three runs in the first 2 innings, and then naturally they waited till like the 8th inning to get their 4th run. So that was fun.
Yeah. All right, so
but Bethune-Cookman already
yeah, that already started.
started, right?
Yeah, said it was looking good. So you got Florida -1.5, UNC -2. I can throw in the under there as well. Okay, Milwaukee +1.5. Pat Baldwin. That Milwaukee team's been a little disappointing.
Yeah,
UNC in the under.
that's for sure.
Ooh, that Houston South Florida under. I definitely was eyeing that. But I was a little worried because the model has it the other way, Nick.
Yeah, model has the over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Voice
but not
cut out there, but
not by a whole lot.
yeah. That's an interesting one because I think naturally people look at Houston and I mean I like to use Bart Tovik over KenPom personally, and Houston right now is they have them number 1. I'm curious what KenPom has them at.
It's pretty sad. They've been around number 1 for most of the years.
South Florida is really bad.
Number 8 in defense right now. Number 3 though overall.
Yeah. How did South Florida get so bad at basketball?
Well, their offense is bad. Their defense is still really good.
Yeah, their defense, they just cannot score.
No, they can't score.
What's the total at in that game?
121.5. So the poll is up. We have, as the options, of course, there's many more bets than this. This is just the first 5 that came in. Florida -1.5, North Carolina -2, Milwaukee +1.5, the under 121.5 in that Houston South Florida game, and Villanova -10.5, which somebody said it. And I'm sure that's not going to win because Creighton was already voted in as the audience lean in that game. But that's okay. We shall see. So, Ben, we're going to start with you.
Alrighty.
What is your personal favorite bet of the day?
I am going to go with Cleveland State -10.
And why is that?
Cleveland State -10. So this is a interesting game because
I love this one, by the way.
Yeah, first of all, these teams are playing a back-to-back, but it's not a true back-to-back because each team had one of their games canceled due to COVID. So not your true back-to-back like we saw last year with teams literally playing back-to-back days, right? So worth noted. But let's talk about what happened in that last game. It was actually fairly close. And I will say the final score is a little misleading because Purdue Fort Wayne was right in the game with like 2.5 minutes left, and then down the stretch, free throws let Cleveland State break away. I think they won by 10 in that one.
It was a 9-point game. It was 90-81.
Yeah, and they didn't cover because the spread was 10.5 in that one as well.
Yeah, and actually, I think Purdue Fort Wayne hit a layup with a couple seconds left.
Okay.
To send it the other way.
Yeah. And look, diving deep into that game and kind of looking at some of the numbers, I noticed one thing that I think is going to help Cleveland State in this one. So the Mastodons had the best 3-point shooting game of their season, minus their opening day game of the season against, I think it was D3 Earlham. Here's me going down the rabbit hole of these smaller schools.
Good old Earlham.
So I'm pretty confident that they're not going to shoot 43% again from deep. And I think that's going to be a point of that emphasis from Cleveland State. And these two teams know each other pretty well. They actually played 5 times last year, which is pretty crazy. That was, of course, COVID stuff. And Cleveland State went 4-1 in those games. So they kind of have them. They own them a little bit, and they just came off a win. So I'm not going to overthink this one. Public likes Cleveland State too, but I think Cleveland State gets it done, and they win by 15.
Yeah, I love the Cleveland State pick here. It was in strong consideration for my top play of the day as well. So the model, real quick, has this one as an 81.5 to 64.4 Cleveland State win. So Cleveland State by about 17. So for me, just going left to right here, I'm not going to get too complicated with this. I'm just going to take Davidson. We talked about Davidson a lot earlier, so I'm not going to I'm not going to go into it anymore, but I think it's just a solid value spot against St. Joe's. I think that the number is only so low because Davidson's been off because of COVID for the last couple of weeks. I don't think it's going to have as big of an impact as people do. So I like Davidson a lot today. And Chase, what about you?
Yeah, so someone asked about St. John's DePaul earlier. That's actually going to be my pick of the day. I'm going with St. John's in this game. I think DePaul's a little bit fraudulent. We've seen it over the last few years of DePaul being at the bottom of the barrel of the Big East, which I think they're a little bit better than what they've been in the past few years. But I think DePaul's a little bit fraudulent. And St. John's gets their best players back. They didn't have Julian Champagnie in that loss against Pitt, and they barely lost to Pitt in that. Champagnie's like basically their whole team, unbelievably offensively. He's going to be back. He's off the COVID list. Posh Alexander's going to play tonight. Those are the big two. It looks like they're still dealing with a couple COVID issues with St. John's, but as long as those two are playing, I like St. John's in this game, especially at home in Jamaica. I think they can beat DePaul probably closer to 10. I'd probably have this game around 8 to 10 in that range.
Yeah, and that's exactly where the model has it as well. Model has it as St. John's by about 10.
Chase, is it safe to say that like Julian Champagnie is like maybe the best player that people don't know about? I mean, I know people know about him, but like he's really, really good.
I think so. Yeah, he
is. I mean, his twin brother put up.
Could be his younger brother.
Yeah, I mean either younger or older. It plays in the NBA. He went undrafted in the NBA after leaving Pitt a couple of years early. Justin, he had a pretty big game for the Toronto Raptors last night. And Julian is better. I say this as a Pitt alum. Julian is better than Justin, and Justin's putting up points in the NBA right now. So him being back the importance of that cannot be overstated.
And he's trying to one up his brother. His brother's coming off a good game. You know they're texting. Like how many points he dropping tonight? He's probably like 25.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of St. John's games this year. Pretty much, almost probably every one. There's a good chance that they're going to be down at halftime. There might be a good live spot there because they do not get off to good starts in the first half, but they're usually pretty good in the second half.
Yeah, I like all three of these plays that we have as our favorite plays. Of course, no parlays. We don't advocate parlays. Low, keep your variance low. But all these are good picks. So the audience, the poll result came in at 5 votes for Florida, 3 votes for North Carolina, which is a game that we didn't talk about. We can touch on that for a bit if you guys want. And then 2 votes for the Houston South Florida under, and no votes on Milwaukee or Villanova. Not even the people who said them.
Maybe they're just not that confident.
Oh, or maybe somebody else posted something like, "Ooh, I like that," or maybe they liked another one more, and then provided a number 2 pick. So I'll throw up Florida in here. So do you guys have any quick thoughts on either of these games that we haven't talked about that came up in the poll? This Florida game against Alabama, or the North Carolina Notre Dame game?
My one quick thought when I was looking at this game, Notre Dame's really good at home. They haven't lost at home this year. They also beat Kentucky at home, which was Kentucky lost last night, but it would have been Kentucky's last loss. And I like Notre Dame at home. I would never bet on them away. But this game, I think it could. What's the total in this game?
145.
145 is probably a little bit high, but both of these teams are pretty good shooting teams. I kind of like the over there.
Yeah, let me take a quick peek and see what the model has to say about this North Carolina game.
Yeah, and real quick, Chase, I agree with you at home. Even traditionally, like Mike Bray, right? Like if you look at some of his numbers, he's been pretty solid and against good opponents too. So I think that's fair. You know, we have to be careful with trends and such, but I think that's fair to say when you have a tenured coach like Mike Bray and the way he gets his team ready to go, he gets them focused up against good opponents in conference, and yeah,
I disagree with you guys there. I like North Carolina mostly because the model likes North Carolina. I don't ever like betting against the model. The last time I tried it, I lost. The last several times I tried it, I lost. Model on aggregate is pretty good. Although it does like the over quite a bit here. It has the point total at 150.5 in this game. Aren't we seeing a lot of money on the over here as well?
Let me go check.
There was something in this game. I forget if it was the over or the spread. But action, as we were figuring out what to do for public intoxication, it said like 99% of the bets on one side of something in this game.
Yeah, I think Chase referenced it maybe earlier in the morning. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but
North Carolina is getting a ton of money right now. 94% of the money.
Yeah, and the line has not moved off of 2. Although public money doesn't really move lines at recreational books. So Show Me the Unit says Notre Dame is 1-5 covering against Power 5. Kentucky is the only Power 5 school they covered against. How many? Yeah, how many of those games are at home? Yeah, that is something very important to factor in. If a team has a really strong home court advantage.
Kentucky one was at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's
the one they covered.
Point that Jace is trying to make here.
Yeah, and then I think the others were in that. I forget what tournament they were in, but I know they played Texas A&M. Actually, I think that was
the Maui in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Maui in Las Vegas. Yeah, Texas A&M they didn't cover that one, and then Boston College didn't cover, but that was on the road. I think in Boston. Yeah. So
they played at Illinois as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Chelly in the chat.
The Chell guy
for the first time. Welcome. Thanks for checking the stream out.
Okay, can we talk about Cole Maker? Oh my God.
Ben, you did not just say Maker.
Kale. Sorry, Kale.
Makar.
Yeah. You know what I mean. I'm not a hockey guy,
but I will say, hockey guy. Yeah, but that was
however you pronounce his name. That was probably one of the best goals I've seen in a while. Like, that was crazy.
So what did you just say about the North Carolina game? So Chase likes Notre Dame. Ben likes Notre Dame. I kind of like North Carolina.
But we're all in consensus on the over, right?
Yes, yeah, we are all in consensus on the over.
I'm gonna actually I think I'm gonna bet that.
Yeah, model has the game. It's got North Carolina 80.8, Notre Dame 70. So I mean, I trust the model. I like North Carolina -2. Model says they should be more like 10.5, 11. That's why I like North Carolina. And then model also likes the over.
And I wouldn't be surprised for people who like closing line value, think that number is going to go up a little bit too.
The total?
Yeah, the total.
It looks like it opened at 147 and has dropped.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong data point. I thought it was opening at 143.
Oh,
I don't know why I wrote that down.
It might have dropped like down to 143 and then popped back up or something.
Interesting.
Let me.
Well, in that case, disregard what I just said.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
He's right. Yeah, 147. It's down to 144.
Yeah, well, I'm showing 144.5 everywhere right now. I mean, we have a live DraftKings feed up right now, which says 145. So they're definitely offering. They're actually offering plus 100 on the over 145.
FanDuel's 144. Circle 144.
Flat 144 on FanDuel?
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like at 144, though, that might be the bottom. I'm looking at some of the other books and line moves because it opened up, like you said, you were correct, 147.5, and it immediately dropped down, but then it got to 143.5 in some spots for a few minutes and went back up to 144. So I could see this settling 145-ish, but yeah, interesting line move. I mean, 147 is a lot of points. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. I mean, it's two good offenses, though.
Yeah.
But both jack a lot of threes, too.
Yeah, a lot of quick buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So, any thoughts real quick on this that Florida-Alabama game that that won the audience poll for favorite bet of the day?
I was just writing up a little sharp report, a little pro report. Looks like a lot of sharp action on Florida.
I guess maybe not surprising. With
Yeah, I don't think I would
chat.
bet. I don't think I'd bet on Florida.
Yeah, that game feels really tight. I don't like Alabama. I mean, Alabama's good. Alabama's very inconsistent. I feel like Alabama's a team whose range of outcomes in the NCAA tournament is anywhere from getting upset in the first round to winning it all. And I wouldn't be surprised.
And they're a team that if they're cold in the first half, they're not a bad team to bet on the second half because they tend to just jack a bunch of threes and they will get hot eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why they're so inconsistent, why their range of outcomes is so big, why they can look so good against some of the top teams in the country, and then not detracting anything from Davidson. I mean, we talked a lot about Davidson earlier. They're a good team, but Alabama shouldn't be losing to Davidson.
Yeah, and then even looking at
Or
how
Iona.
they performed against Gonzaga and Memphis, it was like night and day. Just within like 10 days, they play their probably best game of the year, maybe against Gonzaga, and then came out 10 days later and lost by 14 against Memphis. And I don't think Memphis is a good team, actually. So
No, I don't think Memphis is very good either.
overrated, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a good head coach. But anyways, story for another day. So yeah, I get worried about betting on Alabama, but I also get worried about betting against them too. So
Yeah,
but it makes sense if sharps are actually on Florida. That does make sense to me, though.
Yeah. So Asim says, any thoughts on Syracuse and Miami? And Lo Gretzky, first time chat. Thanks for checking out the stream. Said Bama in all caps. Roll Tide.
Football? No.
In a couple
Nick,
days.
when you started off like talking down on Alabama, I'm like, clarify it's basketball. This is college basketball
It's
stream.
not talking down on Alabama. I mean, I think Alabama fans would say the same thing, right? It's just inherently what happens when you have a team that shoots a lot of 3-pointers. You just have inconsistent results. That's why a lot of lower seeded teams in the NCAA tournament that pull big upsets are teams that shoot a lot of threes.
Yep. I don't think Alabama basketball fans are as passionate though about basketball as they are football.
Yeah,
so.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was kind of dead against Tennessee. I was disappointed in the fans.
I think they kind of shift gears once the season's over, but
I was going to make that point about Notre Dame, actually. But they're undefeated at home so far this season, so that point wouldn't have helped that much. But
yeah. But no, I mean it's fair though. Shift focus. Now it's new year. Football season's over, and now we're focused on basketball. So
Football season's not over though. Not yet.
Notre Dame it is though.
Oh yeah, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Alabama's not over.
I kind of like the under in that game, but I don't know. 150 just seems high, especially for some teams that can go cold.
All right. So I've got nothing else. You guys have anything? Any last minute words to add?
Nope. I think we had a first good show, and we're always open to feedback and what you liked, what you didn't. But no,
Yes.
I think it went well.
Oh, I'm very happy with the way that it went. And like Ben said, if anybody has any feedback, please give us feedback. Positive feedback, negative feedback, things we're doing right, things we could be doing better. Best place to do that is in our Discord. I just dropped a link for that down in the chat. Completely free to join. It's a great spot for sports betting information. Very positive chat, positive atmosphere. A lot of smart people. So be sure to check that out. There's a feedback section in there. Yeah, Chase, any closing thoughts?
No thoughts, just great show. I enjoyed doing it, and I'm sure we'll be back next week.
So I think Saturday is.
Oh, okay. We
is
are
the
going to
plan.
do Saturday. Cool.
Yeah, Saturday at the same time. So Saturday, 11 p.m. for us here in the Mountain Time Zone. That's 1 p.m. for all of you on the East Coast.
11 a.m.
Yeah, did I say p.m. for us?
You did, but
Oh.
I knew what you meant. But just
Yeah.
clarify.
We're gonna do a little recap at 11 p.m. No, 11
Yeah,
a.m.
Talk
Mount
about all our
Friday
bets that hit for the
Friday
day.
midnight stream.
Yeah, we get to post all of our winning tickets, and just not talk about the losers, right? I mean,
brag.
it's easy.
Yeah, that's how we do it, right?
You win 100% of the bets that you post about after you won them, as
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky said.
That's fair.
I think that's
He's
what it is, right?
Great
That's
quote.
accurate.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and raid the Book It Sports channel. I think a lot of people have already left for there, but that's okay. And Pick Six, good question. Twitter handles. Let me go pull up Chase on Twitter.
Mine was
Oh,
just my name with a couple
And drop
underscores.
his link.
Yeah, if you go to the Capwise page, I tagged Chase in our latest post too, so you can find him.
Yeah, be sure to go follow Chase on Twitter. I mean, follow us too, but if you're asking that in our chat, you're probably here all the time and a little less familiar with Chase.
So Nick, I logged in with my other account and I'm watching our stream. I'm curious to see how this raid happens. I've never been a part of it before.
So Trent doesn't have any notifications on the screen. I think there's just going to be something in the chat that says
okay.
Capwise
Well, or we
raid.
can all say and we can all say like, I don't know,
Yeah,
coming for Capwise.
something like
Okay.
that. So I'm gonna hit that. I'm assuming this is gonna do something. So we'll we'll see what
let's see what
happens. I
happens.
don't know if I have to like end the stream first. But thank y'all for watching. Again, be sure to tune in on Saturday for college football, Sunday for Week 18 NFL action, and then pretty much same schedule every week moving forward from there. So thank you, and we will see you next time.
Stay positive, test negative.